Okay, so I just tuned myself to my previous video and I thought I would mention something interesting to you folks. Here I have actually broken my second string, which is usually the G string. And so I went ahead and I also tied up with a rubber, I tied up my upper strings. So the instrument we have is not the standard setar anymore because it's only one string right now. Iktar. And I just wanted to mention something about just the scales, because the drone strings and the G string in on a setar, what they usually do is that they are pushing their own agenda. They are, whatever you tune them to, they kind of force you to play something that goes along with that tuning, which is good because it's like you're saying something with the first string and the other strings are like your acolytes, and they're repeating or they're reinforcing what you're saying. And so you have a harmonious drone effect, which is beautiful, except that it's limiting. It kind of limits you as far as what kinds of things you could do, what kind of modes and different keys you could play, because you would have to retune all the upper strings. Every time you play any note on a setar, you're also slightly hitting the other strings and getting an effect from them. So you have to be in harmony with them, which is limiting. On one hand, when they are harmonious with you, that works beautifully, but a lot of times you cannot do a lot of other keys that you could do. I was just going to demonstrate this thing. See, on a setar you have a whole bunch of korons. You have mi koron. Right now I'm tuned to whatever I had tuned before in the other videos. I think it's almost a B, just slightly under a B natural. So you have a re koron or D koron. You have a E koron or mi koron. You have a G koron or sol koron. And then you have a la koron, and you have a C koron, la or A koron, C koron or B koron, and so forth. Now all of these korons theoretically could have allowed you to build a shur or a segah on them. And when I say that you could build a shur tetrachord, that also means that you could have played a associated Bayat-e-Turk or Afshari or segah or Abu Atta or Nava. We're talking about any of these notes theoretically could have allowed you to. So I'm just going to demonstrate it. I'm just going to play the segah in each one of these keys, but please remember that each of these keys could have allowed also a shur, a Bayat-e-Turk, a Nava, a dashti, so forth. So here I'm going to start playing the segah. Segah revolves around a koron note. Whenever you build your shur scale, the note that has the koron, that's where segah revolves around. That's the home key for the segah. And they call it a segah in that note. Like for example, musicians call it segah in mi, but the tonic is actually on do. It should really be called segah do, but somehow musicians call it segah in mi or segah la, because that's where the home key is. And wherever the koron is, that's where the segah is. And wherever the note before that is, which is 3/4 notes, 3/4 tones below, that's where the shur is. And then the next note is usually Bayat-e-Turk. And then the next one is Abu Atta or Nava and so forth. The next one is Hijaz or Dashti and so forth. So let's play them one by one. I'm gonna just quickly try to show you what possibilities you could have, and then why is it that you have to tune. If you have to, you could play all dasgahs in the simple C, G, C, C tuning. The only problem with that is that you're limited to a few keys. You can't do all the possible keys because the G and the C are supporting those notes. But if you had just a single note, single string like I do right now, let's look at it quickly. Here's a segah in mi. I also have a codon on G. The G has a codon, so let's play it there. And let's see what. Oh, I lost myself. Then. No. Okay, I lost myself because this is such an uncommon place to play the segah. I was making it up as on the fly. So another segah. This is segah on sol codon. Segah is sol, and then segah on la or a. And that's a pretty common one because you can play it when you tune C, F, C, C. Now the next one is B codon. You also have a B codon or C codon in Farsi, we say. Usually we use it for baritorque, but let's see how we could play the segah here. Now the next one, you could have one more on re codon. So we have so many segahs and shurs and so forth that we could have done, but we usually don't because that would require us to tune all these strings to something else. For the most part, you can play everything on C, G, C, C. In a few cases, for a sound effect, you can use C, F, C, C. But then because musicians and people who don't know much about music, they care about the texture of sound as opposed to the content of music. So because of that, a lot of times people use all kinds of alternate tunings to get an effect to get a new sound, because that sounds great. Musicians love it, they like the new sound, and people love it too. But you know, the content could be completely the same thing. It's just that you're creating a new chord and playing something based on that. So every one of these segahs that I played could have had an associated shur and or baritorque and naba and so forth with it. I could give you examples, but I'm running out of time. I hope this helps a little bit. One thing that you could do, let's say if you are trying to build a segah, say on B codon. You could look at what notes you're using here and then tune. Like right here, I have a B codon. Possibly I could tune down my drone strings, the two top drone strings, down from a C to B codon so that they kind of resonate with that note. Maybe I could tune my C, the G string would be okay. The G string does resonate with this G, so that should be possibly okay. You could cook up all kinds of alternate tunings. The logic is all the same. You try to figure out what notes you need, and then you tune the other strings so that they say what you want them to say, basically. Well, okay, I hope this helps. Thanks.